yeah, recap. We're now on the... Why can I never remember the date? 28th of December, Monday. Yeah, it's been a blur. Yeah, things have changed here, as I've mentioned before, and I'd got a couple of options. Options were stop the progress with social media to give me time to concentrate on the other sides of the business, or put the other sides of the business on tick over and concentrate on social media, or kind of strip both back a little bit and do both. And then I realised, you know what I'm really good at is learning and putting myself under pressure for learning. So I'm going to get my head down over a fortnight and really learn social media as best I can. Not only the techniques of it, but a little bit of the theory behind using it as a marketing tool. Making a better life needs to create awareness for what our aims and goals are, because if we're ever to help the people we want to help and provide the services we want to, we need to make this a viable entity. That's something that I need to be, really focused on throughout all of social media. I really want people to believe in us and what we want to achieve, and we also want to create a base from which we can give back through social media, which is the idea of the YouTube channel. So yes, something I want to approach in these vlog videos, like I've mentioned before, is things that have got me by and got me through. I just want them to be out there for people to see, which brings me on to my thoughts this last week. There's a lot of people really struggling with lockdown, with the isolation it brings, and I don't fall into that category, and this is obviously not a brag or anything, and I've actually found it difficult to talk about this with people, because so many people are struggling with not being able to go and socialise with the friends, not being able to get out of the house as often as they'd like to, missing the camaraderie of work. And I absolutely identify with it, because it happened to me in the past. I had health issues that meant I couldn't go out as often as I'd like. Socialising was a damn near impossibility, maybe once or twice a year. And I had it for 18 months to 2 years on one occasion, then another 2 years on another occasion, related health issues. And yeah, the struggle's real. I understand what a lot of you are going through. If all those that you're struggling now take that on board coming out of this, that not only you're not alone now, there's people that have experienced this before. And advice and pointers wise, it is important whenever you can to socialise, however little it is. So we're in lockdown currently in the UK, but a phone call, going out for a walk near, socially distanced from somebody that you know, just those little points, whenever there's an opportunity, take it, because every time you become comfortable with being isolated, it gets harder to get out of. You might find, as we do start to come out of this properly over the next year at least, I should think, you might find it a real struggle, because you've got used to your own space, your own comfort zone, your own company. So never get overly comfortable with yourself. Always try and have some degree of interaction with other people, however little it is, and whenever there's an opportunity, go and do something, whatever it is. Aside from that, I found it difficult, because when you're the only one that's isolated and everybody else is still going out, they forget about you quite readily, and I don't hold anything against anyone for that. It's just the nature of the thing. When you're not seeing somebody socially, you know, unless you're the closest friend, you perhaps don't think to give them a call and see how they're doing. So if you're doing all right now through all this, and you've not heard from a few of your friends, give them a call, see how they're doing, because I can guarantee you, you know, that one phone call, and for me it was quite literally one phone call, out of hundreds of friends and hundreds of social acquaintances and dozens of close, you know, regularly socialising friends. One person texted me, somebody out of the blue as well, to check I was doing alright because they'd not seen me. But only one other mate rang me up and said, not seen you for a bit, how are you doing? And then regularly rang me, you feeling up to coming out this week? You feeling up? You know, that's worth so much. So if you've got a mate that you think might be struggling, do that. That is worth so much. Reach out. The other side of that is, don't start thinking, well, why aren't anyone ringing me? You know, you're in a position now where you could very easily destroy your friendships without having anything to do with your friends, in your own head, alone, struggling with isolation. You'll start thinking, well, why aren't they contacted me? They're all over social media doing X, Y, and Z. Stop it. Stop thinking like that. You don't know what they're struggling with. They don't know what you're struggling with unless you tell them. Communication is key, eh? And I know the problem with matters of isolation is they do force you to become more and more insular. You will try and protect yourself by limiting your points of contact. You'll then let your brain go running away with things, and stressing about the could haves, the should haves, the would haves. There's just no point to it. Let it go. Move on. Not being able to go out, if you can't physically get out and do a bit of exercise and walk, then that is really quite bad. Finding some time to sit near your window, if you've got a view at all, or asking a friend to help you if you're struggling with your mobility, just to get somewhere wrapped up warm where you can enjoy your view. It makes a difference. Outdoors makes a difference. Currently indoors now, even with my heater on all day, it's about 2 degrees, and outside it's snowing, so not spent a great deal of time outdoors today. But when I go shopping tomorrow, I will make a point of absorbing every little bit of that journey. You know, I'll go the long way around on my way there. I might even just stop before I've got a van full of food and perishables and just go for a little walk somewhere. I'm going to be out of the house. I'm going to make the most of being out of the house. Like I say, I haven't struggled as much with lockdown as many because I'm used to the isolation and I don't need that level of interaction anymore to fulfill myself. Subsequently, it's been a battle to remember to keep that level of contact with your friends, to keep them your friends, because when you don't see people, it's easy for relationships to just drift apart. Don't do that. Like I say, make contact, keep contact, talk openly. People will surprise you. Other things you'll face, being sedentary, it's really bad for you. Get off your backside. It's so easy to lose time. If you're sat at a desk working from home, you really need to keep active. I know the world's a lot better for that now, at reminding us, get up, go on your feet, go and do something, but make it your routine. Even make it your work. Think about getting rid of your office chair and working stood up, or particularly if you've got a back issue and need to work on your core strength, which can help the vast majority of back issues. Get a gym ball and use that as your seat whilst you're working, and just keep moving around and keep your core strength going. Little things, engaging your abs when you're going up and down stairs, making a point of, well, I could struggle carrying this and make one trip upstairs, make 2 trips, you know, any excuse to do a little bit of extra exercise. Get a cheap pedometer, keep an eye on your steps, try and keep your step count up. There are all sorts of things, burpees, jumping jacks, squat lunges, anything that uses several muscle groups and gets your heart rate up. Everybody's going to come out of this naturally at the same time, as in the restrictions are going to be lifted. I mean, yeah, it's going to be graduated, because there'll be people with higher risk levels who still have to isolate somewhat and obey more stringent mitigating techniques than the rest of us. But roughly, once we're at point X, we're all going to start moving out and back into a degree of normality. New normal, blah blah blah, I'm not buying into that buzzword. Things will be slightly different, but good, because things should have been different before, because then this wouldn't have been the absolute world-beating cluster fudge nugget that it has been. And I was chatting with a mate last night in a very strange roundabout way. He did a Facebook Live and I joined in, and so we'd got his friends watching us as well. But he's struggling a little bit with that passage of time, because it's that time now that people are thinking, hold on a minute, I've not really done anything for a year, nearly a year. And as somebody that's had that's been stuck indoors with that very issue of not doing anything and facing it for longer than a year, for a couple of years, I know it's weird. It's like, hold on a minute, a year of my life slipped away, and it feels like a side step, not a forward step. But I always say to people, forward motion, if you're going sideways, you're not going backwards. And even if you go backwards, it might be to get around something. So what does it matter? The benefit of this, in a way, that everyone's going through the same thing. Not so much a benefit as at least there's that camaraderie there, might strengthen us all as communities. It's another cold one, and I've been up since 3 a.m, so shut up, leave me alone. No, seriously though, guys, I've just been putting the finishing touches. You can tell I'm not slept well. I'm putting the finishing touches to our next vlog video, and I just want to conclude the section that you've just seen by saying I just want to share my experiences openly, because I got tired of hearing empty platitude after empty platitude of pull yourself together and X, Y and Z and all these methods for getting better that meant nothing, until I heard one that made sense to me. And it doesn't matter what that is, you just need to keep listening until you hear that one that helps you. So that's all this is. It's something out there in case that one person hears it and makes progress. But yeah, back on to what we've been up to. And the hardest thing in this edit has been getting it to look like it's all happened in a row, because like inside my head, time isn't linear. Hi guys, it is January the 2nd. We've got a premiere coming up in a bit. I'm just watching told Rob CP on his live and doing a bit of sanding. I'm filming it, of course, just finishing off these bowls that I've decided to micro dry because they were starting to crack too much since I put the glue on them. What's coming up? I'm starting to enjoy getting back into the editing and the tech side of things. I had a few difficulties. Trust a programmer. My mate's a programmer, and he just said, try this, sent me a program, and it worked. So there's that, but yeah, still grateful. And that's what's been happening, what is happening. I've got meetings to set up, some filming to do on our new history series, which I'm really hoping I can afford to make, both financially and time wise, a big enough thing to really get my teeth into and tell the story of some places that have been really important in my growing up and having an interest in crafts and the like.